All right, we're down to the last problem. I don't know if you want to pause the video so that you can try this completely by yourself and then press play to listen to the solution. VABCD is a right pyramid. The base of the pyramid is a square of side 10 centimeters. The slant height of the pyramid is 18 centimeters. E and F are the midpoints of A, D, and DC respectively. Calculate the length of VE, EF, and then work out the size of angle X. So there is a lot going on here. The first thing we have to do is figure out VE and EF. So let's go ahead and start talking about VE first. We know the entire side length here is 10. Because E is the midpoint, that means that half of it here is going to be 5. The other thing we know is that all of these edges are going to be 18 centimeters. So what I have right now is going to be a right triangle. So I'm going to draw my right triangle where this is 18, this is 5. And this is VE, so this is VEA, and that's basically what I'm going to be looking for VE. So I set up the Pythagorean Theorem, 5 squared plus VE squared is equal to 18 squared. 25 plus VE squared is equal to 324. Take away 25 from both sides. You get VE squared is equal to 299. Take the square root of 299 and you get that VE is approximately 17.3, in this case centimeters. So that's my first answer. We know this is 17.3 centimeters. Now the second part of the question is to find EF. To figure out EF, it is basically the diagonal formed by this triangle, which I have done in purple, which is a right triangle. So I'm going to redraw that so that you get a better picture of what I'm talking about. Here's E, here's D, here is F. And I know that because E is the midpoint and F is the midpoint, I know both of these sides are going to be 5. So by using the Pythagorean theorem, I have 5 squared plus 5 squared is equal to EF squared. That is 25 plus 25, which is 50. I'm going to go ahead and just write 50. Because that one's pretty easy. When you take the square root of 50, it's about 7.07. So that means that EF is approximately 7.07. So I was able to find VE and EF quite easily by doing the Pythagorean theorem. Now, our job is to figure out the size of angle X. Angle X, as you can see in the diagram, is this angle right here. And they have basically given us this triangle, which they have shaded in red. How am I going to be able to find X? Well, EF, we just found, is 7.07. We know that EV is 17.3 because we found that in part 1 of part A. And VF has to be exactly the same because it is formed by basically the same triangle, but just kind of flipped. So I know this is 17.3. So basically what I have here is a situation of side, side, side. I can go ahead and use the law of cosines, cosine rule, to be able to come up with this answer. In the case that you don't remember cosine rule, then you're going to have to go back to watch that video so that it can make more sense. I'll put the link at the bottom of the description so that way it's easy for you to find. So right now, the way law of cosines works is basically the side opposite of the angle. So in order for me to work out this problem, I'm going to need a little bit of space. I'm going to go ahead and erase everything that you see on here. And I'm going to take the time to redraw this really fast for you so that we have more space to do the cosine rule. Okay, so the way the cosine rule works is opposite side with the opposite angle. So I'm going to set up the problem as 17.3 squared is equal to 7.07 squared plus 17.3 squared minus 2 times 7.07 times 17.3 times the cosine of angle x. Let's take our calculators. I know that 7.07 is an approximation, and when I square it, I'm going to get 50. 17.3, if you have a graphing calculator, you can very easily go back to that exact value in the calculator, and you know that if you square it, you're going to get back to 299. Otherwise, again, you're going to have a little bit of round off error. So minus 2 times 7.07 times 17.3, that is going to be about 244.5 times the cosine of x. And that is going to equal 17.3 squared, which is 299. So one of the biggest mistakes that I have seen is that students want to add these two numbers and subtract this number. You can't do that. Now, you can add 50 plus 299. So you get 299 is equal to 349 minus 244.5 cosine of x. Do not, I repeat, do not subtract these two numbers. You're going to get the answer wrong. By order of operations, the negative 244.5 is being multiplied to the cosine of x, which is why you cannot subtract these two. Instead, we're going to subtract 349 from both sides so that we can continue solving. So we get negative 50 is equal to negative 244.5 times the cosine of x. Divide by negative 244.5. And be careful with the signs. It's really important that you don't forget them behind. So negative 50 divided by negative 244.5. We get 0.24449897775 is equal to the cosine of x. And then I'm going to go ahead and find the arc cosine of this number by, in my calculator, which is a Graphene TI 84 Plus calculator, I'm going to go ahead and press second cosine. Maybe you don't have a second button, maybe you have shift, depending on the calculator that you're working with. Make sure you are in degree mode, otherwise you're not going to get the right answer. So then here I'm going to get 78.2 degrees is the value of x. So that is how we were able to figure out that the size of angle x is 78.2 degrees. So I really like this problem. For one, you're practicing Pythagorean theorem, you're practicing the trigonometry within the geometric 3D figures, and you're also practicing cosine rule. So it's actually a lot happening in this one particular problem. If you didn't get it the first time around, the beauty about the video is that you can go back and rewind it and you work on each step a little bit at a time. I hope you found this video helpful. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more help with math so that you can say, yes, I can do math with confidence. Until next time, thanks for watching.